Your savings are losing value right now, not because what you are doing is wrong, because the system is structured this way. The exact same trick was used in ancient Rome. Kings used it in the Middle Ages. Those who rule countries today use it. Same method, different naming. And here is what nobody wants you to know. They have been perfecting this for 2,000 years. The oldest scam in history. Imagine this. It is the year 250 AD, and you are someone living in Rome. You have a pouch full of coins made of pure silver. You earned them through your labor, you relied on them, and you are building your future with them. Then things start to get strange. The coins coming from the mint look the same. They feel the same, but they weigh less. Because the emperor needed money for military power, he quietly mixed copper into the silver. Same coin, but less value. Did they make you notice this? No. Did they warn you? Never. Did your savings still turn into nothing? Absolutely. This is inflation. It is the silent transfer of wealth. And this is exactly what we are experiencing right now. Think about what we could buy with $200 10 years ago. Now look at what we can buy today. Same number, different reality. They did not erase your money from your bank account. It just became possible to buy less, slower, quieter, so that you do not notice until it is too late. This was done completely intentionally. When governments spend more than they collect, they have two options. Either they raise taxes and face angry voters, or they quietly print more money and let inflation do the dirty work. And guess which one they choose? Every single time. The medieval version, let's look at the 1400s. Let's say you are a wealthy merchant in England. You have built a great fortune through years of hard work and smart trade. Then a message comes from the king. His Majesty needs a loan. Sounds innocent, right? It wasn't. If you refuse, you receive fines. Or worse, your property can be seized. You can lose your business, so you give your gold. The king swears he will pay you back with interest. But here is the trick. That repayment, it comes years later, in a currency whose value has been destroyed. Or maybe it never comes at all. Meanwhile, the king builds palaces, funds his wars, lives in luxury with your property. Are you starting to see the big picture? Different century, same playbook. Take from the majority, benefit the minority. Wrap it in official language so it looks legitimate. They called this patriotism. When the system turned into a weapon, by the year 1694, the game had been taken even further. The Bank of England was established. It sounds boring, right? It changed everything. Its working method was this. The wealthy bought government bonds. The state promised to pay interest. So where did the money to pay this interest come from? From the taxes of ordinary people. Salt, beer, cloth, everyday things. So the wealthy lent money to the state. They earned guaranteed returns, and the poor paid more taxes to finance those returns. When you think about it, it sounds very clever. If you are on the wrong side, it is disgusting. This system still continues today. Government bonds are considered the safest investment in the world. Why? Because they are guaranteed by tax revenues. By the taxes you pay, the wealthy park their money there. They earn stable returns, and you work to generate the taxes that pay those returns. Nothing has changed for 3.5 centuries. Modern tricks. Let's take a look at 2008. Banks made reckless bets. They created toxic financial products. They almost destroyed the global economy. So who paid the price? Of course we did. Governments bailed out these banks with taxpayer money, our money, trillions of dollars. And those same banks, they became bigger, stronger, and more profitable. This game has a name. Privatize the gains, socialize the losses. When banks win, they keep the profits. When banks lose, the losses are because of you. And they told you this was vital to save the system. But which system were they saving? It certainly was not yours. The pension lie. You have paid into a pension system your whole life. You trusted it. Maybe Social Security, maybe a government-backed retirement plan. You fully trust that this money will be there when you retire. Here is what they do not tell you. That money is not just sitting in an account opened in your name. It was spent immediately on current expenses. What remains is an IOU, a promise that future taxpayers will cover this cost. This is a Ponzi scheme. It works perfectly until demographics change, until the number of young workers is no longer enough to finance retirees. So what happens then? They reform the system. They reduce your rights. They increase the retirement age. They erode the value of your payments through inflation. And they say, this is necessary. Not theft, reform. Do you see how language works? Quantitative easing, the new magic trick. After 2008, central banks invented something special. They called it quantitative easing, a flashy name for a simple trick. They created trillions of dollars out of thin air. With this money, they bought government bonds and mortgage-backed securities. Who benefited? Asset owners. Those who own stocks, real estate, bonds, their wealth skyrocketed. And you? If you do not have significant assets, you gained nothing, except higher living costs and greater inequality. Money did not flow downward. It never does. The invisible tax. Do you know what governments love more than income tax? Inflation. Because you cannot see it happening, at least not clearly. Your salary increases by 5%. Sounds nice. But prices increased by 8%. You actually moved backward. But because the number on your paycheck is bigger, you think you are moving forward. You are not. This is the hidden tax. When the rate of price increases, exceeds the rate of wage increases, the difference comes out of your pocket, from your purchasing power, from your future. And governments love this because inflation reduces the real value of their debt. They borrowed $1 billion 5 years ago. Thanks to inflation, that billion is now worth less. Easier to repay. Your debt works the opposite way. If you are in debt, inflation makes your life harder. If the government is in debt, inflation makes its life easier. Have you noticed who wins? Complexity as camouflage. Tax laws are thousands of pages long. Financial regulations fill libraries. Government budgets are so complex that even experts struggle to track where the money actually goes. This is not a coincidence. Complexity is not a mistake. It is a deliberate choice. When systems are incomprehensible, you cannot see the transfer of wealth. You cannot track it. You cannot resist it. In ancient Rome, you could see the copper mixed into the silver. Today, the theft is buried inside old tables and acronyms. Same game. Better camouflage. War. The endless excuse. World War I, World War II, Iraq, Afghanistan. Every war comes with the same message. Buy government bonds. Support your country. Do your patriotic duty. And people do, because they want to help. But what happens behind the scenes is this. These bonds turn into risk-free investments for the wealthy, guaranteed by future taxes. By your taxes. Defense companies earn billions. Banks earn billions. Bondholders earn regular returns, and you take on the debt for decades, long after the war is over. They say it is temporary, but it is never temporary. Regulatory capture. Regulations exist to protect you, right? Financial rules, safety standards, consumer protections. In theory, it sounds nice, but what actually happens is this. The regulated industries influence the regulators. They write the rules. They create loopholes. Railroads did it in the 1800s. Oil companies did it in the 1900s. Today, technology and finance companies do it. The public sees protection. Insiders see profit. The same principle applies. It is better to buy the referee than to fight the game. Why it matters now. These tricks are not slowing down. They are accelerating. Inflation is eroding your savings faster than ever. Government debt is higher than at any point in history. Central banks are manipulating the money supply on a scale that would shock past generations. And most people do not see it. They think inflation is bad luck. They think taxes are inevitable. They think bailouts are necessary. Instead of studying history, they believe the official story. And that ignorance? It is the most powerful trick of all. If you do not know the game, you cannot win. The pattern repeated over centuries. Roman emperors devalued money. Citizens suffered. Medieval kings forced loans. Merchants lost their fortunes. Modern governments print money and erase debt through inflation. You carry the burden. Different eras, same mechanism, same result. Wealth flows upward. The burden flows downward. And the language changes slightly with each generation, so everyone thinks their situation is unique. It is not. You are experiencing what people experienced 2,000 years ago, just with different terminology. What you need to understand. This system was not designed for you. It was designed by people with assets, for people with assets. If you are starting from zero, the game is set against you. Not because of a conspiracy in a dark room, but because systems serve the people who create them. And those people are not you. The harsh truth is this. Most people will never escape these tricks because they do not realize they are being played. They accept inflation as natural. They accept taxes as inevitable. They accept bailouts as mercy. They never ask who benefits. The way forward financial education is no longer optional. It is a matter of survival. When governments announce stimulus, ask who benefits first. When inflation rises, remember it is policy, not an accident. When new regulations appear, ask who wrote them and why. Build wealth in assets that preserve value when currency loses it. Never assume the system works for you just because it says it does. Systems exist to protect themselves, not you. History does not repeat, but the financial tricks that made Roman citizens poor are emptying your account today. Different packaging, same theft. The only difference is whether you notice it in time. You were taught to trust the system, work hard, save money, follow the rules. But the system is playing a different game than the one they told you about. And until you understand that game, you will keep losing. Roman citizens realized it too late. Medieval merchants realized it too late. Will you? The choice is yours. But the clock is ticking. While you are thinking, inflation is running, debt is growing, and the transfer of wealth continues every single day. Now you know the trick. So what are you going to do about it?